ahead, Jaya. Do you want to introduce?
Yeah. Sure. I'll give a preamble. Hi, everybody. A very warm welcome. Very, fine Saturday. And this is the second session, the student engagement part. And I hope the session will be very fruitful, very, engaging. Because we have Reema ma'am with us. Reema ma'am is our Senior Director, Digital Learning of GITAM University. She has rich 25 years of experience on digital learning platform. She has about 10 plus years of experience working with ISB, and she was instrumental in doing the first ever ISB course through Coursera platform. So I'm sure her session today will be very useful for you. So please, for this 1 hour, please pay attention to whatever she talks. It's going to be really useful, not only for these 4 years or 2 years of your education now, but it's going to help you for 5 more years to come in your career. And before we even start, I have small request. This whole session is going to be on digital learning. So please confine your questions to digital learning only. And any questions on college reopening or when the class is going to start, we will address them. Classes will start your orientation classes will start post September 15th, and the actual class is starting and all depends on what UGC states to us. So we hook on to our messages or information on those things, and anything to do with digital learning, please ask questions now, and we will take the Q&A towards the end of the session. And apart from that, anything you have, please write to gat@gitam.edu. And next week we are going to have a session on career guidance. So your questions on placements, companies, etc. Please restore them for the next week, and don't spam with a lot of other questions. Ma'am, over to you without any further delay.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here again. I just want maybe in the chat window, and I don't know if the emojis are open or not, if you could just say if you can hear me properly. And I'm also going to share my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen once I start sharing.
Sure, ma'am. Your voice is audible. I'm sure. They're right typing it. We are able to hear. So once you project the screen, we'll. And guys, a question which is posted in Q&A, post. Please do not copy it in the chat box because it's spamming, and we are unable to answer a lot of questions because of that. Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible, and we are good to go.
Okay, fantastic. So again, I'm very, very excited. And again, I think the webinar does bring a distance, but do keep your questions flowing in the chat window, or as Jaya said, actually, if you have questions in the Q&A window. But if I ask you a question and you're going to respond to it, please put it in the chat window because I'd love to hear from you. So we'll try to keep it engaging. And again, I'm really delighted. And the topic that I've chosen for our conversation today is owning your future. And I truly believe that in this 21st century, in the digital world, so students, it's all about owning your future. And that's what college is about. And let me begin by asking you a question, right? So you have just graduated from school. Many of you, right, have to complete 11th and 12th in school. And I'm going to open a poll which says, what was the best learning from your time at school? What did you learn the best? Is it the subjects, the different science, math, all the different subjects that you've learned, languages? Is it art? What is it that you learned from school? And let me open up the poll. I hope all of you can see the poll. So please answer the poll questions as to what is the value you got from your school education. You've been in the school for at least 12 years. One of the things that we talk about is, yes, we learn to memorize or none of the above, right? I've given some choices, obviously not all. Would love to hear from you as to what you feel the biggest learning for you was during your time, 12 years of school. And for those who have said none of the above, can you please put in the chat window, what is it? If it is none of the above, what is it that you felt you learned the most from your time at school? So we have Kaushik, who has said art of focus. There have some of you who have multiple choices. Yes, memorization. It's great. Some of you have learned soft skills, leadership. We hope you bring all of that to GITAM. And Samyak, I hope this is true, that you have learned problem solving. You're the first one I've heard who has learned something that is of practical use. And there are some of you who have learned ethics and moral values. Great. Unity, happiness. Many of you have learned moral values. Very excited to see that. I remember when I was growing up, I did have moral science as one of the subjects, but I know that it has been taken off from the curriculum. Great, Akshita, you mentioned responsibility. So again, I'm very happy to see all the different responses which were not there, but I will also end the poll because there's no more new results and share results. So again, as expected, a majority of you basically, right, we go to school to learn, and the key subjects that we are all focused or told to learn is science is key, science and math. Without that, we are nowhere, and it's very important, right? And so this is great. I mean, this is something that I kind of relate to. It's good to see many of you have outside the curriculum also soft skills, have learned moral values and so on and so forth. But one question for you, I think 50% almost have answered science and math and so on and so forth. And I know for math, for me, differential equations was a big part of our curriculum, right? We have to learn calculus, integration, differential equations. So you can stop answering the previous question, which is none of the above, but tell me in the chat window, why do you learn differential equations, right? In math, in most of you have learned calculus. Could you share with me in the chat window, what is the value? What is the value? Where do you use differential equations? Why do we teach you differential equations? Or if you like integration better, maybe one of the things is why do we, yes, rate of change and all, good, but why? What does it have to do with the price of tomatoes? Okay. Great. See many of them, yes, maintain scores. Integration is used in rendering. Great. Thank you for, again, I think you've got what is differential equations, but I think why and what kind of use cases are there, that's still missing, right? We have known that, yes, differential measures rate of change. In electricity and physics, we have learned use of differential equations for solving different physics problems. But, the big question is the why. And I feel this is something that you will hopefully do a lot more. I think some of you have mentioned thinking logically. I think that is the key to coming to college education, is to be able to ask that big why. So keep that at the back of your mind as we go through this presentation. And again, I think you can stop answering. I'll move forward. I'll tell you what has changed, what is different, how college is going to be very different from what you have done at school so far. But I'm very, very happy to see that many of you, your schools are very progressive and have taught you something beyond just the academics. And that's a great starting point. So great to see that. But I feel, knowing the traditional education system, there is a lot more to go. But happy to see the changes, at least from all the audiences participating. So we'll move forward. The next thing is, I wanted to share a small video. I think some of you might have already seen it. This is the typical problem with our education system, right? That we measure everyone by saying, hey, the exam is about climbing trees, and how best can you climb trees? We'll all measure you, irrespective of your capabilities. So here, it's a pun on that fishes can't climb trees, right? Fishes should not be measured on climbing trees. If they are good at swimming, they should be measured on swimming, and so on and so forth. And our standard education test system only measures what is one size fits all, right? You have the same math paper irrespective of your capabilities. So that's the key, and that's the reality of today's education system. I just wanted to bring some humor. So let's watch a video. I think many of you might have seen it. Please let me know if you can hear the voice once it starts.
Yes, I remember last time you went straight to the camera, no?
Just give it a few minutes. It's this has been my favorite meme over the pandemic. I think many of you might have seen her. She comes up with many different videos over the last year. Okay, let me stop.
Namaste. Myself, Miss Nandini Rao. I am primary school teacher in Bulbul Vidya Mandir.
Class 10 and 12 exams got cancelled.
Yes, this time exams have got cancelled, and for a change, not because of question paper leakage.
What will be the impact of this?
Can everyone hear? Can you give me?
No, we can hear, but we can't see the video, ma'am.
Okay.
Straight to the camera, no?
1 second. Okay, can you see now, Jaya?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Namaste. Myself, Miss Nandini Rao. I am primary school teacher in Bulbul Vidya Mandir.
Class 10 and 12 exams got cancelled.
Yes, this time exams have got cancelled, and for a change, not because of question paper leakage.
What will be the impact of this?
Impact, yes. So this year teachers have to give result without exam, and teachers are not trained for this. We have become like reality show judges, and students, they don't even have vote appeal. It's going to be very difficult and very risky. You saw that video, angry family beating up doctor. Anyways, I am only teaching up to 5th standard. But see, coaching class tutors, they are not having this problem. But also this year, coaching class people will not have any photographs of toppers to put in their advertisements. You know, Buddhiman tutorial. From Bulbul Vidya Mandir, you take right, Buddhiman tutorial. What he is doing, he is taking photos of Bulbul Vidya Mandir toppers and putting in newspaper advertisements for Buddhiman tutorials. So everything he has only done, what our teachers have done, only taken attendance.
Students are frustrated because of exams being cancelled.
Why? Why are you frustrated? Because you are constipated with knowledge and you need a laxative called exam to relieve yourself. If you want exams, then all you need to do is stay alive. Because Jindagi har ghadi ek nahi jang hai. There is no dearth of exams in our country. You want to do engineering, medical, take JEE, ComEdK, AIIMS, IIIT, NEET, CET, Green Tea, Black Tea. So many exams are there. Do CA Foundation exam. For law, do CLAT. From fashion designing, photography, hotel management to UPSC, there is entrance exam for everything. And you know how these professional courses are treating board exam results. Like kadipatta dhania that bhajiwala is giving, no, with main vegetables. Thoda de do. And even after all this, companies will conduct their own exam to give you job. 5 years ago, the fellow who topped in Bulbul Vidya Mandir failed Infosys entrance test 3 times. So see, no test is matter of life and death other than medical test. Now the whole world knows that.
Won't college admissions be affected?
See, we have to stop behaving like only students need colleges. Can colleges run without students? So this is like a game of musical chairs. After the music stops, most of them will get seats. Those who don't, please join the Great Indian Donation Seats Festival. This time that festival will be bigger, that's all.
But see, the bright students who have worked very hard,
See, if these bright students have studied only for exams and they believe that their board exam results is going to vaccinate them against all of life's challenges, then they are not bright. They are just innocent. They should talk to their parents, see their mother, father's board exam result card, and see how after board exam results, life set ho gaya.
Okay, so I think that sets the mood for our conversation today. I think most of you have gone through board exams and are here at GITAM.
You created a business.
1 second.
Now,
So welcome to the Great Indian Education Game. But can you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what has changed, right? GITAM is different. GITAM is making a lot of changes. Sorry. So what has changed, right? In COVID times, I think most of you are familiar. In school, you were not allowed mobiles, right? Mobiles, you have to keep out. Actually, some of the schools and colleges would say that if you're caught with the mobile, it would be handed over to the principal and you would only get it after you graduate. Well, guess what? Things have changed. And now you need to bring your own device. This is a requirement in the new digital age. I think you might have gotten a note from admissions. I think, Jaya, right? We have made a note saying that, hey, for all the new admissions, you need to be able to have access to a laptop or at least a mobile device.
Yeah, we are going to send it, but yeah, that will be the prerequisite before even they start their orientation and bridge classes.
Yes. So please note, now with post-pandemic, we have used leverage technology a lot throughout GITAM and I'll talk about Coursera. I know you had some questions around that. And so having access to a device, a network device, internet is key to your learning in the 21st century. Please make sure that you get access. I think now, the network connectivity has become quite cheap thanks to Jio, and there are a lot more devices available. I would recommend that each one of you get access to a device before you join. And I think this will be a requirement for any institution. And for GITAM, it is a must. The other thing that has changed is actually this interesting concept called flipped, right? So while you were sleeping in the pandemic or taking a break, the summer vacation has extended for a little bit longer. What we have done at GITAM is we have flipped the classroom. And this is something that you will keep hearing. This is a term that we are using more and more. And the whole idea is how you come to school and how things are being taught will be very different from what it has been traditionally. So if you look traditionally, there's something called the Bloom's taxonomy, which is that, you come to school, the teacher tells you about a particular concept that she wants you to be familiar with. She'll explain it to you in the board, in the classroom, and then basically she will assign some homework for you to do, that activities that you do at home, and then you submit that homework. Guess what? This is not going to be the case going forward. Things are changing, and there is something called flipped classroom where you're flipping things on their head. So the idea is that you actually do your learning at home, and when you come to the classroom, you're doing what you used to do in homework. And when we think of Bloom's taxonomy, what it does is it's a pyramid. Now, the pyramid that you're seeing is the flipped pyramid. Generally, what happens is you have a remembering, you have an understanding of a concept, and then you apply the concept and analyze the application and evaluate and maybe even create new things, right? So this, if you look at it going from the orange to yellow, it's bringing in the complexity of thinking is increasing as you come down. Now, before, what used to happen is that we would explain the concepts to you. You would go home, do the homework, and apply the concepts. Now, when we flip the classroom, we actually give you material. We give you video lectures. We give you a lot of content that you have to consume on your own, at home, at your own pace. And the whole value, the proposition is that, see, in class, the teacher goes to the middle students, right? So how students are understanding, they go at a pace that meets the middle student. But there are some students who might take more time to understand the concepts. And then there are students who might finish learning the concept faster, but the teacher is going at a certain pace. So 50% of the class is either getting bored, and the 50% of the class is not even understanding. When you flip the classroom, what happens is the students can understand the concept at their own pace. And when they come to the classroom, they are coming to analyze, they're coming to apply their knowledge that they have learned and work with peer group to be able to apply, understand, question, and really see what the value of that particular learning concept is. And this is what is going to happen when you come into the classroom. So be prepared. This is going to be very different from how you were taught in school, right? In school, physics concept, the Newton's law, the teacher will go one by one, cover the 3 laws of Newton, and then you do some physics problem solving. Now that problem solving happens in the class, you will need to learn about the Newton's laws on your own through material. It's guided. A teacher will give you material, but your homework is to do before you come to the class, is to read that concept, understand the concept. And if you have questions on the concept, bring those questions to class. So this is a very, very important skill that as you think about coming to college, think about how you build the skill for questioning. How do you, and that is very, very important. I don't know if you guys are familiar, in our ancient India, you remember the Gurukul system, you might have heard about it. This is where sages would teach a whole bunch of disciples. And the interesting thing was, in our ancient system, the guru would not start a class till a disciple asked a question. Keep that at the back of your mind. The teacher didn't come and start explaining something. The teacher would wait for the disciple to ask a question for them to explain something. So very, very important. I think this was part of our ancient culture. That's why ancient India was known as the hub for learning. I think we lost that somewhere in between as we, Britishized our education system. And we want to bring that, we're finding that that learning system was very valuable. And so I think a lot of those concepts will be coming up. And as you prepare for college, keep that as the back of your mind, that it's not going to be, I do the homework after the teacher teaches me. I have to do the homework before I come to the classroom. So a little bit about, you might have heard the 3 R's of literacy, which is reading, writing, and arithmetic. I think this is very well known. In school, we learn the 3 R's of literacy. Now, when you come to college, they are the 3 I's of learning. And these are very, very important. It is about interaction. It is about integration of different pieces of knowledge. See, when you're taking 5 to 6 courses per semester, the courses, of course, exist because they are teaching a particular concept in a particular area. But the information becomes knowledge when you are able to integrate all these different pieces of learning and come up with a holistic view of the world. So it's very, very important to integrate the knowledge that you're getting from different fields. And the other thing that we're working on is individualization, right? For you, what works best? What is of interest to you? What are the questions you want to answer? And it's very important to bring that individual perspective into the learning process. The other thing that I want to stress is interaction. And again, I'm very happy to see in the Q&A chat that many of you are talking about it, interaction and so on and so forth. You're interacting, although you're asking questions that might not be relevant to what I'm talking about. So please part of the interaction is making it relevant to what I'm talking, right? I don't think I'm talking about dance club here right now, although many of you want to know about dance club. So when you do have that interaction with someone who is going to talk about activities at GITAM, you can ask them dance club questions. So, what kind of interactions you have, the quality is equally important. And this is something that I've seen very less at GITAM versus my other experiences at other educational institutions. I think something that you want to make sure that happens, because it doesn't matter whether it's physical or online. The interaction is important, not just for your own learning, but also the learning of the peers. And the quality of interaction is equally important, right? Don't ask a question for the sake of asking a question. Ask a question if it is relevant to what is being talked about. So very, very important to keep in the mind. If you ask a question that's totally divergent, like let's say now I start talking about dance club, what has that got to do with blended learning? It's got nothing to do, right? So it will just diverge us, and it will take the attention and focus from what we are having a conversation about. So keep that as the back of your mind, that as you come to college, you're moving away from the 3 R's to the 3 I's of learning. Interaction, very, very important. What your peer cohort is like, very important for your learning. So make your interactions engaging, high quality, integrate the knowledge from different places, and think about what does it mean for you, right? What does this learning mean for you? Where is adding value? What are the kind of questions that interest you? So make sure that it is individualized to your learning. And the good news is GITAM is doing a lot to be able to drive some of these things, right? So when we do interactions, as you've seen in this, we have chat, we have polls, we have Q&A, we have different even though you are distant, you're not in the same room as me, we can still have an interaction. We are offering, GITAM is a multidisciplinary institute. It has many, many subjects. I would say that, instead of interacting just with engineering students, if you're an engineering student, or just with sciences, or just with law, GITAM has 11 different institutes. I would highly encourage you to go beyond your boundary and integrate knowledge, interact with people beyond your institution, beyond engineering, beyond your domain. And the last one is individualization. You will see that when we offer courses, there are choices that we offer you, and you will have to select which course you want to take in which semester. So you'll be given a lot of freedom of choice. And I'll start with Coursera as a beginning platform for that. But there are many, many more choices coming for you to individualize the program for your need. So the other thing is, of course, why study? And one of the things that we have seen is that over the years, things have changed, right? And so that has our education system needs to change. So if you look, Industry 1.0 was all about mechanization. It was about steam engines and creating, right, large industrial segments, coal-powered industries, and so on and so forth. Industry 2.0 was when we moved away from steam to electricity, and suddenly we could get into mass production, and we could, automate a lot of things. And then we move over to Industry 3.0, which is all about micro components. It's electronics, it's all the devices and gadgets that came about. It says the personal computer revolution. A lot of IT systems came into being. And now we are at the cusp of Industry 4.0, which is all about, I think many of you mentioned, cyber security, AI, and so on and so forth. And you will be going through it more and more. So the industry, of course, has changed quite extensively. Now, the sad thing is, if you look at our education system, it has not changed as much as the industry has changed. And that's why I think the pandemic, even though it was very harsh, it was also a blessing in disguise, because it forced us as educators to look at education and saying, hey, how can we catch up? How can we make sure that our students are open to these changes? The other thing that you will see is the timeline, right? So it took about 100 years from 1784 to 1870 for Industry 1.0 to go to 2.0. But from 1870 to 1869, it was less. And 1969 to today, it's about 50 years. And within that, a lot of change has happened. So Industry 5.0 won't take 50 years to happen. It will happen in 10 years. And you need to be prepared for this. And that's what our job is, to help you prepare for the Industry 5.0. So let me ask you another question, right? We talk about this fast pace of change, things are changing. So what is the one skill you will need to master for the future, right? So here are some choices. Let me launch the poll.
Guys, answered in the poll only.
Yes, please. So everyone can see the poll? Okay, great. It's awesome to see your participation. I think a lot of people are putting in. I'll give it a minute more. Okay, I think now polls are slowing down, so I'm going to pause. I think none of these are changing much. So, okay, great. So I'm going to end poll and I'm going to share results. And this is fantastic. If this was a live class, what I would do is I would have 2 breakout rooms. It seems like, you know, artificial intelligence has won the medal in terms of their 32% who have said artificial intelligence. And again, then there is the runner-ups are learning to learn, leadership, design thinking, and cloud computing. And if it was a live class, what I would do is I would have you break out into 2 groups, one that supports artificial intelligence, the other one that supports learning to learn. And you guys debate about which one is the right skill. But since we don't have that right now, I would love to get a few opinions in the chat window as to why you think artificial intelligence or learning to learn is the right skill. So please put in the chat window. So we have a lot of good proponents of AI. AI makes things easier. AI is the future. AI, yes, 5.0, industry 5.0 is a big on AI. Leadership does the work faster, blah, blah, blah. Great, I see there are a lot of engineering or technology students here, but okay, great, learning to learn, decision making. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to stop the, I think great, thank you all for, wow, some of you are able to type in a lot of questions and long answers. Great, good to see the responses. So, you know, I agree, AI is a very critical skill. I think everything is going to be powered by artificial intelligence. But the key for you when you look at mastering is that you as an individual need to learn because the skills, even artificial intelligence, how we are programming AI today will change 5 years down the road. And you will have to change how you program things for AI, how you compute, right? Big data analysis, whatever you do will be very different. What you learn in the college today versus how it is implemented 5 years down the road when you graduate from college. So in my opinion, the key skill to learn is learning to learn, because by the time you graduate, the skills that you've learned you'll have to unlearn them and learn new skills, learn new way of programming, learn new methods of how the cloud computing is structured. And there'll be a lot more. Maybe leadership itself will be changed because you will have a lot of virtual elements, right? You might have intelligent machines that you'll have to manage in a different way. So a lot of things will change. One of the key skills that you will need to in college that you need to master, and hopefully that will stay with you throughout your life, is unlearning and learning again. So moving forward, you know, again, this is some interesting data, right? 40% of the companies that existed in Fortune 500 won't exist in 10 years. So all the big companies that you've seen, right? Many of them are not there anymore. And this is very important, right? The technical skill, if you're learning to code AI, neural networks, any of the Google skills, in 2 years, those skills will become obsolete. They will have an average shelf life. Again, it's not to say one particular thing, but generally it's been seen a trend that there are new skills that are coming up. So the average technical life skill is only 2 years. So what will really help you as you move forward is to be able to learn new skills as fast as you can. And I think this will be very, very important for your generation and the future generations to come. And this is where I think all of you have been asking is where Coursera helps, is that GITAM has been very progressive in partnering with Coursera and bringing the whole Coursera catalog out to you. And right now it shows that, you know, we have got 4,200 courses across various domains. Actually, since the time this slide was created, they have actually got 7,000 courses now. So there are 7,000 courses available to you in any domain you want to experience, and from some of the leading universities, as well as one of the things now they are doing is they're partnering with corporates as well. So IBM has a whole stack of courses on cybersecurity. Google has a whole stack of courses on, you know, data visualizations and big data analytics, tensor flows, and so on and so forth. Amazon has AWS has all the courses they brought in, AWS Academy, which has all the courses on cloud computing. So again, a huge portfolio of courses, 7,200 available to you to learn at your own pace. So this is what one of the key things that GITAM has to offer to you. And I hope each one of you will take advantage of it. Just to let you know how some of the previous students have benefited. And again, Mohit and Susmita have graduated there now. They were 4th year students last year. And Mohit has basically completed 68 courses on his own. This was during the pandemic time, last time when there was a lockdown. He wanted to pursue graduate studies and he wanted to build some of his core skills. And you know, one of the interesting things was there's no one specific course for a specific exam preparation. But he said it helped him clear his fundamentals so much that he feels it was a very good thing for GATE preparation, although there is no one course that says GATE preparation. So very important. The other story that I want to bring to your attention is Susmita, who was very interested in taking, you know, courses. She wanted to get a job on cybersecurity, but she didn't have enough exposure. So she took an IBM specialization, which is a series of 7 to 8 courses on just cybersecurity. And she was able to crack the interview and get a job with a company of her choice. So again, the beauty of Coursera is you drive the use of it based on your interest. No one is sitting on your head and telling you that, hey, do this particular course. Of course, from a GITAM perspective, when you start joining a formal semester and you're learning for a particular course, the faculty will say that, hey, for additional understanding, it's like a book, right? A reference guide that you use. So the faculty will link it to a Coursera course and saying, hey, this is a good reference course for the material I'm teaching. But in addition to that, you can take any other course out of this portfolio of 7,200 courses that are available to you. So again, the future is that you might not even need to come to school, although we would love to see you and we definitely want to engage with you. But just a funny thing, right? In the future, you could potentially just download your whole college education through your system. So it's just, this is hopefully not true right now, but it might be something that's true in the future. So, okay, so let's start. Let me ask you another question, right? So you're all here for the college education. So help me understand, what does college education mean to you? And let's be honest with each other, right? So I will launch another poll question. Is it 4 years of hard work? Is it to get a good job? Is it to find a good spouse? There's been a lot of research that shows that yes, college education does help you find a good spouse. Will it help me build a purposeful life? And of course, sometimes you come because your parents are after you and saying, hey, go to college, you need a college education, right? Your life is not anything without a college education. So I'm, so again, yes, one answer is very obvious. I'm hoping you're answering it, honestly, and not because that is the right answer to answer. So, okay, I'm going to stop the polling because I think the polls statistics are not changing much. And it's interesting. As I said, one answer was obvious, which was, yes, it will help me build a purposeful life. So I would love to hear in the chat window, what does purposeful life mean to you? Help me understand that. I think, 4 years of hard work, yes, it is a slogging, getting a good job. I think that's what we as college management focus a lot, to make sure you have the right opportunities available to you. Yes, making your parents happy and finding a good spouse. I can see many of you are not there for this. Good to know that. But you will make many meaningful relationships. I think don't discount that. Part of college life is getting to know your peers and finding, forming friendships that last a lifetime. But I'm very curious. About 65% of you have said purposeful life. So please put in chat window, what does purposeful life mean to you? Yes, enjoying having a job. So I think a lot of you making a lot of money, making my parents happy. So interesting. So again, there's no right or wrong answer, right? It is what purpose is. It's entirely up to you as how you define it. Keep that at the back of your mind, right? As you go through 4 years of amazing life at college, what does purposeful life mean to you? And how are you going to get there? So very interesting. Thank you for sharing. And I'm so happy, Jaya, this class is amazing. They're participating.
Yeah. They're like super good and very attentive.
Yes.
I must say.
Great. I think we've got a fantastic cohort here. And so from a digital world perspective, right? Digital learning, what does it mean to you? And this is something very important that I do want to stress a little bit about, is that, as you come into this world, into college, there's some things that you need to put aside that you learned in school, which was the teacher telling you what to do. You need to become more of a self-directed learner. You will get many opportunities in college. You need to define what is it, where do you want to get information, where do you want to get help. Become more self-directed. Don't wait for someone to come and tell you do this. Please keep that in mind. Otherwise, you'll miss a lot of opportunities, because again, as we realize, right, we will only test you with the standard test of we are able to climb a tree. But in college, you will get many opportunities. You'll learn to swim, you'll learn to jump, you'll learn to do many things. You have to become self-directed. Very important in today's world. With Coursera, as I said, you have 7,000 courses. You have courses on photography, on music, on history, on psychology, on things that you might not have thought. But hey, go explore, right? So college is all about exploration. It's how you can direct yourself. The other thing that I mentioned is active learners. Don't be passive learners. Passive learners means I ask you a question and you don't answer, right? Active learner says, you ask me a question, you say, hey, I don't understand. Help me understand this more. Help me apply it to myself. So become an active learner. An active learner is someone who helps themselves, but you also help your peer group. Third one is open to new ideas and experiences. Very critical. I've seen that, my daughter herself, right? She said, hey, because she didn't, she was not good at drawing. She closed herself to experiences with the art world because she thought, hey, this is not for me. I think very important for all of us. We sometimes think we are weak at something, so let's not go there. I think take college as a challenge to explore new ideas. It doesn't matter whether you're good or bad at it. It's about just opening yourself to new experiences. Time management will become critical. You will see there's a lot of things coming up, how you prioritize things, how you balance between what's urgent to what's important. Please, you will learn some of these time management skills, because there are a lot of things that will come your way. How you manage your time between them is very important, so you can make the maximum out of all the experiences. Collaborating with peers, a lot of your classwork is going to be about breakout rooms where you mix with peers, brainstorm on ideas and come back to the faculty. So collaboration with peers becomes very important. And one of the things that also part of the learning experiences is getting feedback as well as giving feedback. So we have a lot of exercises where we ask the students to rate each other, right? To grade each other's assignments. You will see much more of this. Of course, we provide a structure of how to grade. It's called a rubric, but you will have to do it, and you will learn how to give critical feedback in a nice way. So very, very important part of the new way of learning. The two things you need to bring to the college. One is curiosity. Very important, right? And this is the big thing. I don't know if you've heard about this golden circle, right? So the three key questions, how you start a question is why, how, what. And the why is very, very important. Why are we learning differential equations? Why are we learning AI? Why are we learning cybersecurity? Please, as the next generation who is going to build the industry 5.0, please start with the why. The how and the what are the second order questions. But first important question, anything you do, why am I doing it, right? In school, you might have been taught, please don't ask too many questions. In college, reverse it. Ask as many questions as possible. Your questions will not only clarify things for you, but also for your peer group. The other thing is that you will get a lot of choices. As I said, with subjects, with activities, with a lot of things, what people to hang out with. Please make conscious choices. Making choices will become an important skill because you will be asked to do so many things. So two important ingredients, again, that you need to bring to the college. We are bringing a lot of technology to enable some of these learnings. So again, we are on the Zoom platform. You can answer questions and so on and so forth. Coursera I've spoken about. So post this session from Monday onwards, once I get the details from the admission teams about the students who have paid fees and who are enrolled into GITAM, your email IDs will be created and I will create access to Coursera. You will get a note along with a link and a password that you have to change, where you can log into the Coursera platform. There are a series of courses that we have identified for all of you to take. These courses are basic skills on IT productivity tools, so that when you come to college and your day one, you can begin the ground, hit the ground running. You don't have to learn the basics. The basics are all in part of the series of courses that we have identified that each of you will have to complete before coming to the class. Before the actual classes start in October. So, again, from Monday onwards, you will slowly start getting invites to join the Coursera platform and start taking the courses. Besides the courses that we have identified, you will have the luxury to take courses that are beyond the ones that we have identified. So again, based on your interest, go wild, go wide, and enjoy the Coursera platform. The other thing is that we have also, as you come into the course, as you join GITAM and become part of the program, there are a lot of changes that have been made. There are new coding platforms that have been made available. We have used Grammarly as a tool. So, writing skills are very, very important. And we have engaged with Grammarly, which helps you correct as well as identify plagiarism. We've got a lot of virtual labs. And at GITAM, we have installed a learning management system, which the faculty is using very actively to create some innovative content for you. So hopefully your class engagement with the material will be a lot more interactive and learning and fun and engaging as when you join the classrooms. So again, one of my favorite researchers from Stanford is a professor called Dweck. she has this philosophy, theory actually that she has created, which is called growth mindset. And I really love, if you guys have not heard it, please listen to her. She has got quite a few talks on YouTube. She has given TEDx talks and so on and so forth. Her best talk that I really like is something called Not Yet, and the power of not yet. So if you fail at something, don't worry. Just say not yet, and one of the things that we have still not incorporated, she said in colleges or in schools, there should never be a failure grade. There should be a grade that says not yet. Are you competent at a certain skill? You might say yes, or you might say not yet. So her advice to all of you is love challenges, be intrigued, make mistakes, because we learn a lot by making mistakes, enjoy the effort, and keep on learning. I have one more poll, but I think in the interest of time, I'm going to skip this. But something for you guys to think about. What is the one constant in your life? What is that one thing that will remain? Just think about it. You can answer it in the chat window, that you think will remain for you for the next, let's say, 25 years. So I'm not going to do it, but I do want to leave you with a couple of thoughts as you think about starting your college journey. College is all about learning. It's about transforming yourself, right? You are now becoming from a student in a school to a learner in a college. So that's a little bit different. And of course, learning is a key element. You're going to be learning hard skills as well as soft skills. But the other things that you're going to be doing is making new friends, right? Don't miss out on this opportunity to make new friends. Meet new people. Sometimes we are very comfortable with the people around us or who are like us. Please make an effort to meet new people from different disciplines, who have different choices, who enjoy different things. Maybe you like rock and roll, the other one likes classic Carnatic music. Meet new people, enjoy new experiences, experiment, right? Something you have never tried before. And I went to college, actually, I had never learned swimming. And when I went to college, I learned swimming, and I actually became a Red Cross. I liked it so much that I became certified to be a Red Cross lifesaver. And it was funny, I was afraid of water, and suddenly I was able to help people out who were drowning, and I at least get certified in it. So experiment. You never know what you might like, right? You will fall, you will fail. Think about it as not yet and get up, right? Give help, very, very important as college, and ask for help. I think sometimes we feel it's a sign of weakness if we ask for help. Believe me, in college, it is not. Ask for help, get help, and also give help. And in the process, again, discover yourself, discover what you're about, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and become a whole new you, right? So that is what, in my opinion, is college about. And with that, I just stop it. Enjoy yourselves, and a very, very warm welcome to you all. Do we have a few time for Q&A?
Yeah, we will certainly take the Q&A, because a lot of questions, and 90% of them are on how the college, when the college is going to start. And, it's been like, a few of them took their admission quite in the month of April, May. So for them, it's like really long time to wait. But students, let me tell you, while we are, gearing up to start the classes online first, but there are guidelines to be issued by UGC and AICTE. Okay, we have to adhere to those guidelines. So we don't have a concrete date on when the offline classes are going to start. Online classes, I think, watch out, before September 15th, we might have the certificate verification. Date is tentative, but please look for look for more communications from us. We will have certificate verification. We will close the certificate verification and start giving the email IDs, GITAM email IDs to you, so that your wait time is well utilized by Coursera and other things. You need not wait for the college and get bored. So your wait time will be actually put on a right part medium. That is one. Second thing, to start with, I think the classes will be online basis the current situation and government indication on how to go about it. If we hit with third wave, and it is obvious that we will have to go on the lockdown mode again, and the learning continues. There is no pause for learning. So I am emphasizing on that, and it depends on your interest again. Okay, you are now coming to graduation, or few of them are going to your post graduation. So keep up your interest and keep up your passion for learning. Okay, and soon you're going to hear from us. You will get access to Coursera. Whoever has paid the fee will get an access to Coursera. You can take up the course, well utilize the waiting period. And on the laptop or the mobile required, I think we usually our recommendation would be laptop obviously than a mobile phone, because like in future it's going to useful. You can't obviously do a project on your mobile phone, or your learning will be better on a laptop than a mobile phone. So it's well understood yourself which IT device is best suited for your learning. That is number 2. Number 3, is ragging allowed in GITAM? No. I think whoever had asked this question had missed last Saturday's session of student life and sports. Sorry. There, the director student life has clearly mentioned that no, there is no such thing exists in GITAM. And on student residence at the campus and all, we will send some documents. Excuse me. Sorry. So we will, if you want, we can send you the recorded session of that, so that few of your queries are answered well. Then I think for all PG, UG on classes starting, we will communicate to you shortly. And I'm so sorry, guys. And coming 3-4 days, or maybe next week, please watch out for a communication from us on your access to Coursera. How do you have to log in, or what courses are available and all, so that it becomes easy for you to take up the course and do before even you start your pre-orientation classes. Most of you would be completing the course also. So just to count to us is what I want to convey. Any other question?
Yes.
What is Coursera?
Yes, Ms. Reema, you have 2 questions. That means one is Coursera access will be there for MBA students also? That's the first question. And how much fee should we have paid to access the Coursera?
So what was the first one? Will the Coursera access be given to who?
For MBA students, it's available.
Yeah. So the Coursera licenses, yes, will be given to all students, as Jaya mentioned, who have paid semester fee. It doesn't matter which program, which discipline you are part of. It will be available to everyone. There is no additional fee we are charging. So far as you pay the college fee, and this is the beauty of GITAM, is that the management has taken a decision to procure Coursera licenses for all our students, irrespective of which stream they are in, which discipline they are in, because we want to make sure that your learning doesn't stop and your learning is scaffolded with the right tools. So even for Grammarly, it's something that is available to all students and actually all faculty members as well. So far as you pay the semester fee, your tuition fee, you will get access to these tools and technologies. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
And there are many more questions. How many seats are available and what's the admission counseling process? For all these queries, you all can reach out to your counseling portal. Just scroll below. You can find the admissions counselor number. Reach out to them, and most of your queries will be getting resolved. As Jaya has already promised, she will be sending the recording of the previous session, so that most of the queries will be getting solved.
So you'll get both previous session and this session recorded once on your email inboxes. If somebody has joined a little late, or you want to hear it once again, please, go through it. all I'm saying is watch out for all the communication. Do not miss any communication, which is coming from GITAM. The whole purpose of doing these sessions is to engage you, to, do the ice breaking before your actual classes start. So the next session is going to be on GCGC, which is GITAM Career Guidance, Center. We will have the Assistant Dean Commander Gurmurthy going to take the session on your favorite topic, I would say, placements and career prospects. So please do not miss this session. And any other question, one last question, if you want, please put it on the chat box.
And Jay, while we wait for the question to show up, I just wanted to also mention that, I think many students have said, what about practical, right? And again, although I am head of digital learning, the idea is that I at no point say that we don't need the physical learning. I think the physical learning is equally important part of the learning process. I think, we want to encourage and bring the students back to the school, right? For us, it's very hard to see empty buildings. I think so. It's not that we don't want you on campus. Actually, the campus comes alive only when you're all there. And there's a lot of buzz going around, different activities, classes, and so on and so forth. Sadly, as Jaya mentioned, we are limited by UGC and AICTE guidelines, and so we have to adhere to them. And so, when we talk about learning, part of the learning is, yes, theory and learning on the online, but a lot of the learning is physical learning, whether it's practical, and we do have practical lab sessions, and they were conducted even last year. We had to change how we do it. But we did, I think practical learning is an equally important part. I completely agree with all of you. And I'm not saying that, hey, digital will take over everything. I think being part of but digital has helped us a lot, where if we had completely shut down and imagine there was no learning, at least some learning is taking place, although it is not complete.
Yeah. And yeah, Dibya Jyoti and somebody else had asked, Coursera is for everybody. Paramedical, physiotherapy student, architecture student, whether it is BR, MR, everybody will get an access to Coursera. And you can do any course. Physiotherapy, student can do a course on management if you're interested. So there is no limitation at all. Everybody will get access. So do not worry. This is not just for an engineering or a management grad or a postgraduate. So do not worry. And yes, you will get GITAM registered email IDs. So hold on for more communication is what I'm asking for you. And laptop will obviously be necessary. I will leave that part to you. I mean, it is you who can really judge whether a mobile or a laptop or an iPad, whichever will suit your requirement or your learning process. So
this could be get clarified from your respective professors during the orientation or bridge courses, what happens at a later stage. Regarding the specifications of the laptop,
I think for the engineering, your professors or the faculty of each of the department would suggest you the requirement of IT, like for projects and all. They would definitely ask you to take a laptop. So hold for the orientation classes, but till now I think we are keeping we are trying to engage as much as possible. So do not worry. I hope everything, I mean, we tried answering all possible questions. If not, please drop a mail at gat@gitam.edu. gat@gitam.edu. Thank you, Reema ma'am. It was such a wonderful and fruitful session. I don't know, I'm sure they would have enjoyed it because the chat box and the Q&A box is full of questions, and thankfully 40% of them are now on learning and other formats. So I'm really happy, and I felt it was very engaging.
Thank you, Jaya. Jaya, it would be nice if you could do a small maybe poll post to see how the students
sure. So
to get some feedback. Again, as I said, giving feedback and receiving feedback is critical for all of us, for all our
definitely. Guys, so we will send you a feedback form maybe on Monday or Tuesday. Please do give your valuable feedback on today's session.
Yeah, and maybe even now we could do a 1 to 5 rating and just say.
I mean, you can just shoot out a poll, ma'am. I think we have a few more minutes, so please just ma'am is going to shoot out a poll now on the feedback for the session. Please do poll. And yeah, certificate verification is going to be online, so you need not worry at all. If you want to visit the campus and look around, you're most welcome, with all COVID adherence, but protocol. Otherwise, the certificate verification is going to be online mode. You didn't receive any final SEM results of your previous education? We will have certificate verification soon. Sometime plus or minus September 15th, plus or minus 2-3 days, that's all. You will have to submit it online, certificates. Ma'am, you're starting the poll?
Yeah, so actually I'm just typing it in the chat window because the poll, it's only the IT guys can add a poll question.
Okay. No problem then. I think most of them are
Putting it in the thing.
Yeah, we have NCC, we have clubs. You will hear on all the clubs available shortly. Last session, Student Life Director told on the clubs available, and they will shortly send which all clubs available, what is your interest. They will ask you to nominate in your the club in which you are interested of. So all 5-star, 4-star, 5-star, 4-star. Thank you guys, thank you so much. Oh, there's so many stars, and all the stars for you, ma'am.
No, it's the team, and I'm so delighted. Actually, part of it, I think, is the stars for all the participants, because
Yeah,
participants have been very good.
very enthused crowd, I must say. Very participative and enthused crowd, I must say.
Keep that up. Please don't lose it when you come to school or college and get burdened. I think your enthusiasm, you might make it very boring. Keep us honest, and keep us, challenge us always. So looking forward to engaging with you when you're all on campus as well as online. And again, keep us honest, keep us on our toes. We are here for you. And again, look forward to welcoming you at GITAM. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.